Hello everyone and welcome to another virtual pet video. In this video I'm going to be going over the DDP chips available for the Digimon Accelerator as well as the plates available for the Digivice IC and Burst. So first up we have the Accel, and as an update you'll probably notice that I have Revolmon when I was aiming for Blade Kawagamon, and the reason for that is I was spamming Kokabuterimon full with DNA and I got kind of trigger happy and accidentally fed too much of the DNA that I was spamming and accidentally ended up with the quote-unquote bad care, which, when I say bad care, the reason why it's not completely bad care is that it's actually due to not fulfilling any requirements for any other Digimon evolution from that Digimon. So that is similar to the other bad care ones, except no care mistakes are really involved. It just has to do with the amount of DNA that you've fed it. So if your requirements say beast DNA 0 to 5, bird DNA 0 to 5, and then holy DNA 20, then if you have 6 beast DNA in it, that means that you no longer will get that evolution. And you can't take away DNA, so you'll get that bad care evolution. Anyway, so that's how I ended up with Revolmon, and the only way for me to get back on track and get Tyrant Kabuterimon is to evolve Revolmon onto Daigomon, who is the other bad care evolution. So all adult Digimon evolve into Daigomon if they don't meet any requirements, like all child level Digimon evolve into Revolmon, or I guess Deputymon in the dub, if no other requirements are met. So we'll look at the ways to get DNA. So first of all, we have the DNA scan, which I've shown in previous videos. It's very simple. If your hand's warm enough, which mine is today, you'll just have to touch these contacts. I don't know why I spoke with a Kiwi accent for a second. Contacts. And you just fiddle around, and certain combinations will get you. I'm trying to get this one because I know it's holy. So different DNA. And you'll get a few, sometimes one, sometimes two DNA chips that you can use on your Digimon. And then there's DDP chips, which are these chips right here. So each Accel in box comes with one. I have ones that I bought extra as well, which are these two. They're just weapon ones, so they're not for DNA, they're for weapons that you can use in battle. And then I've got these three, which came with 3 of my accelerators. Now, my ultimate didn't come in a box, so it didn't come with its chip, so I'm actually missing the chip for that one. But I do have these, and each of them say which DNA comes with it. So if we wanted beast, we'd use this one. If we wanted insect or dragon, it gives one or the other. I'd use that one, but if I just want dragon, I'd use this one. So you select DDP, and you scan it. And while you can sort of rotate it to get different positions, it's kind of easier just to get it straight in that spot and get the Dragonmon. But I have been able to have it upside down and get something else, but it was kind of a little bit tricky because it doesn't have that groove for it to slip into. And then obviously, as I've shown in previous videos, to feed the DNA, you'd go to your inventory where you feed your Digimon, and then select the DNA you want to feed it. And each Digimon will only eat 3 different kinds of DNA. And you can also only eat a certain amount of DNA each day. That way it sort of slows down the evolution. And you can check that by checking your DDP. Oh, and Daigomon immediately poops himself after he evolves, as you do. So yeah, you can basically have an Accel live for like super quickly. You can go straight to Mega in one day, but you need an item called DP Max, which fills up your DP, because otherwise you can only feed it a certain amount of DNA each day. In addition, well, sort of like in the opposite way, you can't just keep a baby forever, because they will actually at some point just die if you don't evolve soon enough. Like if I don't evolve a baby to a child within like 2 days, it just dies, which is kind of sad. So I'm not sure if you can prevent that, but it definitely becomes harder to look after them even at the baby stage. So that's kind of sad. But yeah, that's how you get DNA using the DDP chips and the DNA on the accelerator. And then we have the IC, and I have my Burst IC, but they basically function in the same sort of way. So as you can see, well, similar-ish. I'll just clean Galmon's poo, and then you can see I've got a lot of the IC plates. I've got one of each of these plates that came with my other versions of the ICs, as well as the Burst. And these are just a lot smaller. You can kind of hang them on a lanyard or hang them on a keychain. And they also have the symbols for each type of DNA that you can get from them: dragon, beast, and bird. And then we've also got these plates, which are a bit bigger, and they were sold separately. And the reason I have so many of these is because they all came with my Burst. It was a huge bundle with the Burst and a bunch of these, so that was super cool. So we've got all the DNA ones here, and then I've got another pile here, which are for items, as well as spawning a battle. So this is an enemy battle, and then it's got, these one comes with different items and weapons that you can use. So I'll put that over there. So first of all, to get DNA, we don't have a trigger button here, we have to actually select it from the menu. So I'll select that, and we go to Digisol, and then we'll scan our Digisol in the exact same way that we just scanned. Oh, you have to actually have them, all the contacts touching, and my hands are cold so it doesn't like me. There we are. And I got dragon. But you'll notice that it actually eats the DNA straight away. So there's no DNA storage, it just devours it. And if we go to the stat screen, and this is a handy feature as well, it actually shows us the silhouette of the next evolution. And this can change depending on your reliability, which goes up and down depending on care, as well as the DNA that you've consumed. If you consume lots of, for example, beast DNA as Galmon, you will evolve into Galgamon. And that's what I want, so I'm just going to make sure I have more of the beast DNA. So I'll use my Mirage Galgamon plate. And to do that, we go to this window and then plate, which is the second option. And then we put this firmly here, push the button, and then we get the beast DNA, Kemono, and then it eats it immediately. So there's no storage for DNA in this one, so it's a little better to use the plates, because if you accidentally put in the wrong Digisol or DNA, like here, you'll accidentally might feed it the wrong DNA. Like, this is insect, and I don't want insect, I wanted beast. So if you accidentally select the wrong one, or you want to see what combination equals which DNA type, which you can do with the Accel, you can kind of just say, okay, this 3 in this direction means it's a insect. But this way is a lot safer to use these IC chips. So that's definitely something I'd recommend, that if you have an IC or a Burst, is to, and you actually have to hold it on tightly, which I'm not doing apparently, it's not too happy with me. There we are. You kind of have to push it in firmly right behind there, and it's got a little place where you can put your finger to hold it in place. So yes, if you have an IC or a Burst, I'd recommend getting either these or making something that's similar. You could probably do that. I know that you can kind of make your own ones of these with like a board that for the Accel that presses the buttons down, but also has to press the middle one down as well. I think that's, from memory, how I got a DP Max one. So I was playing around with it and found that if you put like a pin there and your hands here, you could actually fake use one of these. You could probably make a cool, like, similar sort of thing using a board and some contacts, but I'm not crafty. I'm going to use a pin to poke it down, to depress it. Yes, that's something I can do. Anyway, so that's what the DDP chips are used for. I'm not sure if you can do the same sort of board with the IC Digivice, but it'd be cool to see. And yeah, so that's basically what you can do with them. There's also these ones which came with the IC versions 1, 2, and I think that one came the Burst, I can't remember. I know that I have 2 ICs and 3 of these, so that would make sense because 2 ICs and a Burst. But yeah, so that's what I have. I would use this one to trigger an enemy battle, but if it's Megadramon, I don't think Galmon's going to have a good time. So I guess I'll just sit by and await the evolution to Galgamon, which I can tell by the silhouette. It's like the world's easiest Who's That Pokemon, even though Who's That Pokemon's pretty easy. Anyway, so thanks for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!